Okay, so I'm going to start off with a primer, and I'm going to use the Monistat Chafing Gel. Now, this is obviously not a face primer, but it is a really great drugstore option because it has dimethicone in it, and it does look very silicone-y, like a lot of the Smashbox primers look like. So I just kind of like warm it up in my fingers a little, and then I just press it on the skin where I get oily, which is mainly just in my T-zone. And this really does just help smooth everything as well as keep me matte. Okay. Next, I'm going to move on to the Revlon Color Stay Makeup. This is just like the normal one, not the whipped. And this is for combo to oily skin. In the warmer months, I really do like to use this one just because it does keep me matte a little bit longer than the normal to dry formula. And then I do use the shade 180 Sand Beige. And what I like to do is just kind of pump some in my hand, one pump at a time, and then kind of rub it in and just kind of dot it. This really helps kind of get the foundation on evenly, as well as make sure I don't put too much on. I'm just taking a little bit more. And so yeah, like I said, this really helps just make sure I don't put too much product on because I don't want to look too makeup-y and cakey. And then I'm going to blend that out with a damp Real Technique sponge. I just bought new sponges and it's like, ugh, forgot what new ones feel like. So the reason I like to use a damp sponge is because it does kind of pick up all that excess product as well as kind of add a little bit more hydration back into the skin. So it doesn't, again, make you look too makeup-y. And this foundation does keep you matte, but with this sponge, it gives more of like a matte / satin finish. So it's really, really pretty. So I just kind of really press the foundation in and blend it in a little bit. Now, as you can see, because I did use such a little amount, there's not a whole lot of makeup on my skin. Like, it doesn't feel very makeup-y. But my skin is still kind of showing through, so I might just use a little bit more just so I can really get the coverage that I want. But that's why I love this technique, is because it allows you to get the coverage that you want, but really to make sure that you're not using too much product. So I'm really happy with this result. You can keep adding layers if you want to. This foundation does build really beautifully, but I'm happy with this. I like when my skin, you know, you can see some of my freckles and stuff. I kind of like when my skin still looks like skin, especially for a look that I'm going for today. So next, I'm going to move on to correcting my dark circle concealers. I always use the NYX Dark Circle Concealer. I sometimes use a brush, sometimes use my finger. It just kind of depends. I forgot to bring a brush in here, so I'm just going to use my finger today. Alright, I just had like a little sneezing fit, but I think we should be good. The weather has been changing so much to where my allergies are just like out of control. Like, it was warm this week and now there's snow on the ground, so, you know, my body is just kind of like, what is happening? I am going to go in with my Rimmel Match Perfection Concealer. I really love this concealer. It gives a very nice natural finish, but also some good coverage. Okay, product. And it just squeezes out on top of a little brush. So, I mean, I'm not going to like do a whole lot of like highlighting and contouring for this look. I just kind of want to highlight the face a little bit and really just brighten that area. Not like, you know, really intensely or anything. Really intensely. Most people are like, why would you even do this?
Okay, so now I'm going to take my sponge again and just kind of blend all this out.
And then I'm going to set that powder with a little bit of the NYX HD powder and Banana. This is one of my favorite under eye setting powders, just because it does brighten and it's a really nice texture. I just kind of like to run that over my eyelid as well so the concealer on there doesn't crease. Okay. So just really lightly, nothing too crazy. I look so swollen right now. Okay. And then I'm going to set my entire face, so foundation and all, and I'm going to be using the NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat Powder Foundation. I've talked about this powder a lot here on my channel recently. It's just really nice because it gives a nice natural finish, along with keeping you matte. So you can really pile it on and you're not really gonna look cakey. So I just take a big Real Techniques powder brush and just kind of bounce it in the powder, and then I just kind of press it into the skin. And like I said, this is what's so nice, is because you can really like press this powder into the skin, really pack it on so it'll keep you matte, but it's not gonna make you look like you have a ton of powder on, which I love. So that is one of my favorite things about it. Okay, so far so good. Maybe I'm looking a little too dark on the face, but that's okay. I'm not really doing anything today. Okay, now we're gonna go in with some bronzer, and I'm trying today for the first time the Makeup Revolution Ultra Bronze. This is like a huge old pan of this, like that's giant. I think this was like $7 at Ulta. I found it yesterday. So I'm just gonna take my e.l.f. powder brush, which I love for bronzer, and just gonna bronze the perimeter of the face. Oh, that's nice. This is a nice color. I mean, it does only come in one shade though, so if this shade won't work for you, then you can't use this bronzer, which kind of sucks, but they have other bronzers, Makeup Revolution does, but as far as like the Ultra Bronze one, it only comes in, I guess the shade is Ultra Bronze. So just kind of, I mean, right now I need to blend that out, obviously, but I'm gonna just take some down the neck a little. Okay. So then to kind of buff out this line up here, I'm just going to take the powder brush again, just kind of run it over to really blend everything together. But with this look, since I want it to be very glowy and very like spring, summer, I don't want to do any like harsh contouring. You know, so I just really like how I just bronzed up the skin. Okay, this line is not here in person, but it's here on camera. So I don't know if it's like the way the light is hitting me or something, but it does look like I have a line. But in person, it doesn't look like that. Okay, so now we're going to move on to some blush, and I'm just going to use the Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso. This is a really gorgeous, like, glowy, peachy blush. So I'm just taking this on a Sonia Kashuk brush. This came in, like, her fall set or something. And this looks gorgeous in the springtime, and it adds a really nice glow to the cheeks as well. Springtime, summertime, whatever. I mean, this look, I just think it's so pretty for this time of year. Even in the winter, I like this look just because it's like, you know, well, I mean, it's not winter right now, but where I am, it looks like winter. And, you know, people are like, did you go on vacation? Like, why do you look so, like, glowy and beautiful? You're just like, the makeup. Okay, so next, the star of the show, and this is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer, although it's a highlight, in Reserve Your Cabana. This is the star of the show because this highlighter I've always loved, but I've been using it a lot more recently. And I love that it gives that glowy look, but because it doesn't look too like a bam, like strobing highlight effect, it doesn't make me look even more oily when my oils kind of starts to break through throughout the day. So I'm using the e.l.f. highlighter brush and just kind of tapping into the product. And then just kind of putting it right on the top of my cheekbones. I even put it like under the eye area a little bit, which normally if I was using, there's so much powder. Normally if I was using like a Becca highlighter or, you know, something that was like a Laura Geller highlighter, something that was really strong, I wouldn't do it like this because that would be so, it would just make me look so oily. But with this, like you see how much brighter this side of my face is and just how like much glow is right there. But I love it because it doesn't look too much. So that's why I just love this powder. If you have oily skin and you struggle with finding highlights because as soon as your oil kind of breaks throughout the day, that highlight just looks like way too much. This highlighter is beautiful and it's only like $3. So, and I'm just going to take it down the bridge of the nose a little. I normally don't do this with like intense highlighters, but with this highlighter, I love it because it does brighten and it does give this that extra little something. but it doesn't make me look any more oily than, you know, I will be in like 3 hours. So that's what I love about this powder so much. Okay, so before we go to the eyes, I am just going to do my brows really quick. So I'm going to do this off camera because it kind of takes a while. So I'm going to go do that and then I will come back and finish the look. Okay, so the brows are done. I'm not really happy with this one today, but whatever, we're moving on. Okay, so the eyes for this look are going to be super simple. Because of just how like naturally like glowy the skin is, I kind of want to bring that into the eye look. So I'm just using one eyeshadow for this look, and it is the L'Oreal Infallible Iced Latte. This shadow is gorgeous. If you do not have this, I would say this and Amber Rush are the 2 infallible shadows that you need in your life. So I'm just taking this on a really tiny like Eco Tools brush. This is the brush that I always use for highlighting. It comes in like their eye set or something. So I'm just taking a little bit, and I'm just going to pop this on the inner corner as well as the brow bone, just to kind of bring that glowiness onto the eyes as well. Like, bam, this stuff is gorgeous. This looks really pretty as a face highlight too, if you do want something a little bit more intense. But it just looks really pretty as just pop on the brow bone. And I mean, you can do obviously more like shadow with this look if you want to, but I mean, this is just so simple, so easy. You know, you don't need to do much. It's just so nice. Like, it's so simple and so easy, this look, but it's still so pretty. I just love it. And I just love that I have found, like, really good drugstore products for this look. So, that's the eyeshadow. I'm just going to kind of take my fingers and blend out the brow bones just a smidge, so they don't look like there's like that huge harsh line, you know? So it's just so natural and pretty and easy. I just love this look. So then I'm going to move on to mascara. I'm just going to curl my lashes and use the Wet n Wild primer that I love so much. What I like to do for this is I like to curl one set of lashes and then put the primer on. And then I like to do the other side. And this kind of lets the primer dry before you put on some mascara, and I just feel like that's how it works best, at least for my lashes. So then I am trying out this new L'Oreal mascara, the Butterfly Sculpt. It definitely has like a weird brush. I think I'm going to do a review on this because it's been a while since I've tried out like a new drugstore mascara. Well, not really, I guess, but you know, whatever. Okay, and then for the lower lashes, I'm just going to use some CoverGirl Clump Crusher Water Resistant. This is my favorite lower lash mascara. Like, this eye look is so easy. I didn't use liner and like barely any shadow. It's just all about that glowy, a lot of lash kind of look. Okay, and then for lips, I'm going to use just a gloss, just something really simple, and this is the NYX Butter Gloss in Creme Brulee. The butter glosses are just like, ugh, some of my favorite glosses ever. Like these and the Maybelline Color Elixirs are definitely my favorite. And Creme Brulee is, okay, I can't talk while putting on lip gloss. Creme Brulee is just that beautiful like nude, but it has a little bit of peach in it. But so it does give a little bit of something, but not like too much, you know? And they smell like candy or cake. So then to finish off this look, I'm going to use some Makeup Revolution setting spray. This is the oil control fixing spray. And again, using an oil control setting spray I like because it does kind of like keep me matte and keep all the makeup in place. Okay guys, so that is it for this look. It is super simple and easy and just really glowy and pretty, but it is great for oily skin because of all the products that we used. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will catch you guys in my next one. Bye.